Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to a new video. I have been trying to go live again, but somehow still doesn't work. Every time I go live I see it in a portal, but just what YouTube is broadcasting is a complete white screen. So I have absolutely no idea what's going on. Anyways, we are in day 4 now, I think, of the big dump. We have a little bit of a move to the upside. This BTC/USD on the 4 hour. Let's quickly move to the daily. And then yesterday we had quite the move to the upside, 10%. For the day we were higher, all the way here to this SFP that I drew already some time ago. And you can see that the candle stopped there exactly, which is around 18,160, 18,160. And now today we are going down again approximately 4%. So volatility is back on the menu. Was the entire week actually already on the menu. Quite the moves to the upside, to the downside. On the daily, I would say we still have some room to go before this is flipping over. We are back in neutral zone for the RSI. Therefore I put this now here on top so you guys can see it. If we're zooming in a 4 hour, that's also an important one that a lot of people are looking at. We just printed a red dot again on the 4 hour. Money flow looks like it wants to curve over. Momentum wave is curving over, so we are not out of the woods yet at all. RSI has room to go to the upside. So there you can see that a little bit of a movement up, quote unquote little, shall we say. Then can just reset these RSIs so that we can go lower. If we're looking at the 1 hour, then I actually find it even more interesting. Maybe this wants to curve a little bit up like this, but the money flow looks like it wants to curve down. RSIs are pointing down, coming together, and also here the regular RSI still has a lot of room to go. So this could maybe suddenly drop down. There are two scenarios actually for today that I was looking at so far. One of them have played out. That was from this top to this bottom into the golden pocket, and therefore you could say, you know what, drop, rise, retrace, successful, and then go higher. On the other hand, you can also do the exact opposite, that you're taking this drop and then to this top, and then you would say, well, if we then just go up to approximately 17,000, what is it, 17,400 to 17,500. If we then have top, bottom, rise to the golden pocket, which also nicely coincides with these wicks right here, and then we could go lower. I so far have not really, of course we have not really reached it since we put down this low, but if we reach it and it looks good, I'm probably gonna take a short. With that being said, I have not re-entered yet. I have not done a lot. This drop right here on this hourly candle was of course because of the news of the day, and that was the official news of the bankruptcy of FTX. Here you can see it, this came out, files officially for bankruptcy. Now what is so painful, is so crazy about this, is that yesterday FTX or the Sam Bankman-Fried said, we are filing for bankruptcy. Everything outside the United States, US, is safe. Today they're filing bankruptcy for the US activities, which is crazy. And what I also found absolutely shocking, which I didn't know, is that there are approximately 130 entities or companies affiliated to this FTX. So this is a very big one. Let's zoom in on the 5 minutes. There you can see, of course, easily the drop. That was quite intense, and then the spike up. Percentage wise, this was quite a lot. If you are measuring it from here, then we went down 6%, and then here we went up almost 6%, and now we're kind of zigzagging. But I would stay very careful. Of course the question rises, is that since we have been dropping down now, and we actually also kind of had the textbook reversal from the drop here back to the top to the golden pocket. Was this the bottom, and can we go higher? I think it's way too soon to say that, especially because the indicators are definitely saying that we have not bottomed out yet. This so far you could say looks good. Personally, I think there is maybe another drop to go, something to, let's say, this level or a little bit lower, maybe SFP it. And actually what would be very nice, if we can have it, but then really the money flow needs to start rising up, is if we do something like this, we go lower, this momentum wave stays higher, and we have a bullish divergence on the 4 hour. If that happens, with money flow coming up into the green, I most likely will take the long, but like I said, I will stay very, very careful, because let's be honest, it's just a bear market, it's just a crash, and that is right now what is setting the tone. And we still also do not have here a green dot on the daily. This will probably take another 2, 3, 4 days if we are going sideways or going up. So definitely take that in account. And of course we can also do something that we have seen here, where it goes up towards the zero line, red dot, and then going down again, and then later on going up. So keep that in mind, that once there's a green dot, that doesn't mean the bottom is in. We can just do something like this and then go down again, right? So just be careful with that. We have seen it actually multiple times. Also here, something like this, where you see like a sharp trigger wave, that is also of course very, very bearish. And of course we also after that had another big dump. So I'm just trying to put, if we get a green dot within the next 2-3 days, trying to put that a little bit into perspective. Then of course the dollar index, this has been quite the drop. Yesterday we had the news about the CPI data. Inflation came down quite a lot, also the core inflation. The majority of the people will now be leaning towards a 0.5 interest rate. Let me quickly see if I have that here. Remember how I said I was leaning heavily towards 0.5% in December. Then we had the Fed coming out very hawkish, and I said right now in the middle I want to see more data before I choose my camp. After this data coming out, I have chosen that I'm leaning back towards 0.5% interest rate hike in December, because yeah, like I said, the inflation data, the latest one, was pretty good. So I'm leaning more towards 0.5% rate hike. Also, as you can see now, 80% of the market is leaning towards the 0.5, and only a little bit less than 20% thinks we're still getting 0.75%. So that's going to be interesting to see. With the dollar index dumping down so much, we are breaking support. And the next one is 105. I said that yesterday on the just clear the indicators. It looks like that we are a little bit oversold on the dollar index, and also here on the hourly. We're spending quite some time in oversold territory. Maybe here the Marks IV indicator wants to bottom out a little bit. So let's say we go down a little bit, find support 105. I think a reversal back to the upside, and I think sooner or later, and that can really take weeks or maybe even months, something will happen, and then we are reversing back to the upside, and we're going to retest or take out these highs. That is kind of my macro idea, but of course in the meantime we can still go down. Funny to see is that this whole story with FTX now going down is that BTC is not pumping at all now that DXY is dumping. So we have seen a very clear decoupling this week, just full on blood and carnage on the crypto markets, and DXY and the S&P are going kind of hand in hand. So in this case we saw yesterday on the news that the S&P 500 rose more than 5% on the inflation news, and today it's a little bit flat. But that is an enormous gap, and of course on that news S&P is rising. So you see here the DXY is dumping, and the only thing that this kind of creates, and let me zoom in on the 4 hourly, then you can see a little bit clearer, is that we have a few very big opening gaps, and we also have one here. So yes, sooner or later the theory is that will be tested and will be closed. So who knows, maybe get a test to here or maybe even to here. I am still leaning macro bearish, meaning that I think sooner or later we will go down and eventually the S&P will go below 3,500. Right now almost hitting 4,000. That 4,000 for the S&P 500, we have touched the 78.6 on the fib retracement measured from this low to this top. But with that being said, you could also say, well, maybe you need to move it to just a little bit more, another top. Then we have breached here the golden pocket, but if we put it here on this top, then we have just a little bit more to go, approximately 4,000 points, where we see the golden pocket from that really bigger top here all the way to the bottom. And then who knows, maybe we're going to touch this within 1 or 2 trading days and then reverse to the downside. That will be absolutely textbook, just like we have seen here for the dollar index, top, bottom, to the golden pocket and reverse. So I expect something similar for the S&P 500. Like I said, maybe go a little bit higher, maybe this was the top, who knows, but I expect sooner or later a reversal, because just on one good inflation data doesn't mean inflation peaked out, the bottom's in, we're going to 100k, yippee-ki-yay. That's not how it works. Already said it, don't be optimistic right away. But of course, this is finally good news for the markets after getting so much bad news week after week, month after month. So I expected a little bit of a rise, but not a 5% rise for the S&P 500. There will be profit taken, so be careful of now longing this and thinking the bottom was in. All right, like I said, also these gaps, especially this one right here, I think it's way too big. It will be closed sooner or later, and there will be a story again, there will be a narrative again, and then it also, you will see it always coincides and lines up with the charts and levels, and then we're just going lower again. So be careful with your optimism right away. For Bitcoin, I am also staying a little bit cautious, but I actually want to build up another short position because I think on the macro it still looks pretty weak, and we have not bottomed out yet. What I would like to see for Bitcoin is that something like this would happen, that we just have a little bit of a slow grind and kind of a flat base, flat bottom. That for me would be very nice accumulation phase where everyone just leaves the space, is not interested in anymore, and that is then usually where we kind of bottom out. Because if we now just pump up, I mean, this was of course all over the news now, where crypto, big dump down, FTX, whoop, big pump up, and now a little bit of a retest. Yeah, we're going higher. This was the bottom, and every moon boy is crawling out already. That is usually not how bottom formations are. Therefore, I'm staying a little bit cautious until the rest of the year. And the way this is setting up, in combination with the indicators, I also do not think that this is the bottom, because this right here reminds me a little bit actually of the bottom that we had here. Let me take this out for just 1 second, where you can see we crashed down and then kind of retesting, but you can also see that we actually also just went lower, and here we kind of retesting it, but we never took out this low. So you want to see 1 or 2 times that the low has been taken out, or that we are just like I said, just going flat and sideways, and that we are really creating a solid bottom. But just a kind of touch and go, I do not really believe in that scenario. And yes, one price will be the bottom, of course, because I think testing something till the exact dollar a couple of times, that will not happen. But you kind of know now where I'm looking out for. So just be very careful, especially with the weekend now ahead of us. There is still a lot of stuff unfolding about FTX. It is getting juicier by the minute. There are all kinds of stories that they had. This guy had orgies in the Bahamas with the people from Alameda Research. That chick Caroline, you probably have seen her. This guy probably has 100 million in Bangkok somewhere stored. I heard that on BitBoy's channel. All kinds of lawsuits going on. So apparently in the next couple of weeks there will be a lot of stuff unraveled, and a lot of CEOs and companies will come out in the news to say how FTX kind of fucked them over. It's going to be very interesting to see. I think it's going to be very juicy for the rest of the month. When it comes down to the charts, of course, we're always just trading it level by level, trade by trade. For now, like I said, I'm staying pretty cautious. If we go higher, trying to build up a short again, I do not think it's the bottom. If you're longing, you better stick to the charts, you better put in stop loss, and you better take your profits, because on the macro it is still a bear market and we're still dumping down, so just be careful. So for me, this is just another day within the bigger dump. And yes, we had a green day yesterday, and I told you that already. It is not just only red bottom, but it will zig and zag, because that's how the market is designed. It will zig and zag some few green days. Oh, that was the bottom. Well, fooled you. No, this was the bottom. Well, fooled you. So that is how crazy it can be, and eventually you see kind of this capitulation. Everything is selling off, everyone calling for lower levels, and that's then kind of it. Yeah, that is for now what I'm looking at. Guys, if you like the content, again, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, share this video with your friends if you think that's useful, and of course leave me a comment. I'm really curious what you guys think. I will try to give you more updates. Also, I have updated you quite a lot again on Twitter. Those links and to my Instagram are in the description of the video. Definitely feel free to check it out and to join, and see you guys very soon again in the next one. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.